I want to share with you my experience using Pi AI. So Pi AI is it's another AI. It can function very similar to ChatGPT or Gemini, but it's designed specifically, even more so than those other ones, to be conversational. Now, you might think that this is sort of a simple little aspect, but it actually really changes the interaction. It goes a long way to make it more of this back and forth rhetoric, back and forth conversation, this dialogue, which is really powerful for education. So it's something that we should really think about and look into. Now, when Pi AI first came out, I went to it and I checked it out, and it was cool because it was conversational and everything. And again, more so than the other ones. But last night I tried it in a different way, and wow, it was so impactful. This time I ended up using the audio feature. Now, I was using the browser version. So with the browser version, you can enable that it gives you the answers in audio form, but through the regular web browser, you don't actually talk into it. So I was typing into it and it was responding in audio. Now, if you want to talk into it, you can with the app on the phone. It has a phone app as well as through an app that you can get for your desktop. But I was simply using the browser, just the free version. I didn't even set up an account for this one. But wow, it was so impactful. So I'm going to play a little clip for you of that interaction, and then we'll discuss.
Absolutely, Brent. First question. How do you approach creating an inclusive classroom environment that respects and values diverse perspectives and experiences? What strategies have you found effective in fostering meaningful connections between students and promoting a positive learning experience? It sounds like you prioritize creating an inclusive and respectful learning environment, Brent. Your focus on establishing a community of inquiry and fostering meaningful connections through group discussions is commendable. These strategies are essential for promoting a positive and engaging learning experience for students from diverse backgrounds. Now, let's discuss your teaching methods first. Can you provide an example of a lesson plan or teaching technique that you found particularly effective in engaging and motivating students in a professional communication course? What made it successful? Roleplay and AI simulations sound like engaging and innovative teaching techniques, Brent. By allowing students to experience and practice the concepts they're learning, you're facilitating a deeper understanding and long-term retention of the material. Using generative AI simulations for job interviews is particularly relevant in today's world where students need to be prepared for the ever-evolving professional landscape. Final question. How do you evaluate the effectiveness of your teaching methods and the learning outcomes of your students? What data or feedback do you consider? And how do you use this information to improve your teaching strategies? Pursuits and have credited your course is a testament to the effectiveness of your teaching. Overall, you've provided thoughtful and comprehensive answers to each question. Your dedication to fostering an engaging, inclusive, and relevant learning environment is commendable. I believe you would be a valuable asset to any university as an instructor in professional communication. Absolutely, Brent. Your responses throughout the mock interview were well-structured, thoughtful, and showcase your expertise in the field of professional communication. Your dedication to creating an inclusive and engaging learning environment, combined with your innovative teaching techniques like role-play and AI simulations, demonstrates a strong commitment to student success. Furthermore, your emphasis on obtaining and incorporating student feedback is a valuable asset in today's higher education landscape. Your ability to adapt and improve based on this feedback will help ensure that your teaching remains effective and relevant. Overall, your responses reflect a highly skilled and dedicated educator who is passionate about their field and committed to delivering a high-quality learning experience for students.
Very interesting. So the way that it was able to talk to me, and when you first go into it, you get to pick the actual voice that you want it to use, and it asks you for your name. So that already makes it that much more personalized because it's asking for your name. So in the responses, now this conversation really starts to feel like a conversation. And the power of this voice, as well as the mannerisms and the way that it responds, really enhances the realism. I found myself going back and forth. I was trying to be very sort of aware of the interaction, but when I was talking to it, as far as asking it questions, and when it was responding, I definitely forgot multiple times that this was fake, that this was just made up, that it wasn't a real person. So that's really powerful because that creates this emotional connection. Now, I was using it to help me prepare for an activity that we're doing in class, right, where the students are going to be interviewing me. So I asked it to go through and ask me questions as if it was the audience, as if it was the students, the hiring committee. And multiple times I felt a little bit nervous. I felt like this was really happening. And the other big part about this is that when I answered something right, or at the end when it gave me sort of this feedback, it felt good. It felt good because of the way that the voice was expressing it, the way that it was encouraging me. So if we can capture that, if we can bottle this and use that within education, that's going to be very powerful. That's going to be an enhancement tool. So we need to think about different ways that we can package this up to present to students. And I've already been using simulations in my class, but this is going to be much more impactful. I'm definitely going to try this in class, or at least assign this as something for students to do outside of classes, homework, where they'll go through a simulation. Well, they'll be able to learn from the AI. They'll gain experience through this practice that we can then use in class. So this is important to really think about how we could implement, how this could augment or enhance our classes. A lot of different other possibilities or use cases, but this is something that we should develop and share with our community of practice. So this is another great AI tool, great AI implementation technique possibility. I'll do another video later where I'll be actually doing audio input as well. So the whole thing will be audio to sort of give you an example of how that is. But this is powerful. And again, something to really think about. I encourage you to go through and test this out on your own. Test it out, see how it feels, see if you feel something because of this enhanced realism that comes from this voice that's just, again, so realistic. And this is a trend that's happening. The last video I did talked about Figure One, the robot that has AI in it from OpenAI, and the way that it's speaking is very realistic. It's very human-like, slight delays, using different types of words that make it seem like a real conversation, make it seem like a real person. Now, again, there's some aspects to, pros and cons with personalizing an AI or humanizing a robot, but those are things that we should be discussing. But it really enhances the realism. It really enhances the engagement, and those are all really powerful things for education. So again, test it out on your own. See what you think. Let's talk about it. Let's have this community of practice so that we can comment and interact with each other and learn from each other. Please like and share this video so we can continue to grow the channel and we continue to learn from one another. And remember, learning is for life.